Hey guys, how y'all doing? Welcome, welcome. I know this is very unusual. I don't usually come live on my personal page, but I've had a lot of questions and I just thought I would kind of share a little bit about my journey to where I am now with my creativity and answer any questions that anyone might have. But anyway, happy Saturday, you guys. Happy Saturday, happy Mother's Day weekend. I hope that you are getting to do something special this weekend if you're a mama. And if you're not, make sure you at least pick up the phone and call your mama and tell her how much you love her. But I hope everyone's doing okay. Of course, my name is Susan. Thanks for joining me on my personal page. I am actually in my craft room. What a blessing this is to me. So I just wanted to come on and share my heart with you all a little bit and just kind of tell you a little bit about what it is that I'm doing. Hey, Aunt Lisa, how are you? So the fact that I'm standing here in a craft room and that I get to do creative things just about every single day now is just such a blessing, and a place that I have dreamed of and wished for quite a long time. And, you know, many of you may know that, many of you may not know that about me. But I have always liked to do hands-on things. And I started in high school. I loved art. Well, starting as a little girl, let me go back even further than that. As a really little girl, I loved coloring. I loved coloring. Every year for Christmas, I'm sure we did more than that, but every year for Christmas, I would get a new coloring book and new crayons, brand new, fresh, pointy crayons. Nothing better than having a fresh box of crayons, right? So I looked forward to that. I'm sure I got it other times, and obviously we got back to school stuff, things like that. But I just remember at Christmas, that was something I always looked forward to. It was always with my stocking, and I loved that. So I loved being able to color. So when, fast forward to, I'm not sure how much, I always did it in other ways. Like in junior high, I loved photography. I fell in love with photography. I loved learning how to take pictures. I was in the photography club, learning how to develop pictures. It was just all super cool. And so I've always had like up my hand a little tiny bit in creativity, but not a lot. Of course, I was always so busy with sports, and I was busy with, I loved music. And then as I got a little bit older, I loved to be in acting and performing. So, you know, I've always had my hands somewhere in creativity. Well, then in high school, I know with fine art, I loved like drawing with charcoal, things like that. I cannot draw a person to save my life, or even animals, but give me a still objects, I can usually mimic those. Now, I haven't tried it in years, and my mom used to encourage me all the time, you know, you should get back to drawing. She would even buy me, as an adult, she would buy me charcoals, and she would buy me sketch pads and say, you really should. And I just never had the time. I decided to devote my time to my kids, my family, and put my wants, desires, and things like that aside. So I always try to find some kind of outlet, though. So whether it was in the flower garden, I love color. So in high school, you know, I was like, what could I do with this? With my, I'm not a vegetable gardener. I don't like working in that kind of garden, but give me flowers any day because of the color. So when I was in high school, trying to figure out what could I do with this? I love colors. What could I do with it as a living? So went to college one semester thinking that was going to be what I was going to do. I was going for interior design. I thought for sure that was going to be my avenue to be able to work with color. Well, I did not do my research, and I didn't realize that interior design is more like architecture. So not that I couldn't do that, but that wasn't going to bring me any joy. So after a semester, I dropped out and came back home, started working full-time, and then taking classes on the side, whatever I could, and decided just to go the business and computer route because I had an aptitude for that and for finance, and that was just doable, right? You do what you have to pay the bills. So always putting, you know, my creativity was not foremost, but dabbled in absolutely everything, you know, from back when we would paint shirts. My sister-in-law, my wonderful sister-in-law Lorraine, getting us into, gosh, what was it called now? Chem something. Painting shirts, you know, doing things like that. So fun, so fun. To, you know, working, like I said, whenever I had a place that I was living, bringing beauty to the outside with flowers, because I love to work out. I love being outdoors anyway, and then working with flowers, working dirt therapy, right? So whatever little things that I could do in my little gaps of time. And then, you know, moving on to scrapbooking. Oh my gosh, you know, I love scrapbooking, but it's like I never could finish anything. I never could finish anything because I only had little snippets of time, because, you know, kids are demanding, and life is demanding. Running your own businesses, things like that. It's just demanding. So, but I always tried to find a little place that I could find to get some creativity for Christmases, for birthdays, for things like that. What could I make someone? You know, my grandmother used to make us something every year for Christmas, and I just treasured those things. So handmade just always appealed to me, and DIY, you know, take something and, you know, my dad instilled that in me, the ability to believe that I could do any of it, and having a mechanical mind that I could do it. Well, I didn't really want to get into the tools and that aspect. Not that I couldn't, but that wasn't drawing me. It was more, it was still more on a different, but I still wanted to DIY. So over the years, I'll buy things and I'm like, oh, I'd see something. Oh, I could make that. You know, oh, I could make that. So it was always more crafty. And then let's see what else. I used to try to make faux stained glass. It's on my bucket list to learn how to do real stained glass one day. But I'll see things, I keep things like, oh, I could make something with that. Oh, I could make something with that. So I've always tried to keep my hands in creativity, but I've never been able to make it a priority. It's always been if and when I have some extra time. And, you know, a lot of times that didn't happen. And then I got to the point where when we moved back down to North Carolina in 2016, I was before that I was homeschooling the kids, so, and running a business, and, you know, taking care of the house with a hubby that traveled a lot. So, you know, still, again, no real creative outlet except for a little bit here and a little bit there, and so many unfinished projects, guys. So many craft supplies. Believe me, I am not lacking for craft supplies. But trying anything and everything, knitting, crocheting, any of that stuff. My mom would teach me. I would call her up and say, Mom, remind me how to crochet, when I would pick it up again 6 months later. And just always trying to, I needed something that was for me, and always struggling to find that time to do that. And so when we moved here in 2016 to North Carolina, which many of you guys know we did, from Maryland, after being back home in Maryland for quite a while, the kids were going to school, so I thought, okay, I'm going to have a little bit more free time. But of course, my in-laws were able to move down with us too. So that demanded a little bit of my time, but I thought I would find some more opportunity for creativity, but that did not come to pass. And then not long after that, we brought our little sweet grandson into the fold too. So I had to start taking on the role of, you know, being a mama again to a little guy. So again, press it aside, push it aside, push it aside. And I'm one of those kind of people that it's really hard for me to, it takes me a while to get back into that creative group. I always kept trying to do it. And even throughout that, with having my in-laws here, with having the baby, you know, helping taking care of the baby and the toddler, I would, my creative outlet then became my home, making my home beautiful. Now, I do things on a dime and on a budget. I don't want to, even if I had the money, which we haven't always, you know, I like to do things economically. I was raised, my mom, you know, raised us with, you take care of what you have. And what can I do to make my home beautiful? So that became my canvas. My home became my canvas. Changing something, buying something cheap and painting it so that it went with my decor or whatever. So that became my creative outlet, because I could do that here, there, and in between. And I've always loved decorating for holidays and occasions. So I love that part of it. So, you know, and how things look, things that please the eye, that's always been important to me. So, or brings me joy, I'll put it that way. It fills my soul. So, you know, I still haven't taken time for some of the other outlets that I feel like I might have a gifting in. I still haven't had the time to do that because we're still helping to raise a child, and, you know, and then I got my own kids, and then the house, and then et cetera, et cetera. So backtrack to about 2 years ago, as you know, my girl went off to college, and I was seeing that she needed less and less of me, and you know, Colby was getting up there, and he was needing less and less of me, and you know, the in-laws unfortunately were not with us anymore. So I was thinking, okay, so I need to start making a path for me, because at some point I'm going to be an empty nester, right? Hey, Kristen. At some point I'm going to be an empty nester, and I need to find what's going to bring me joy, whether it's a new career or a job, which I've always only worked really jobs. I've never worked, only very short period of time worked in a career that I absolutely loved. So moving here, and then like I said, once I started seeing, like thinking there was going to be a light at the end of the tunnel, I started making some plans of being able to figure out a way to finally fulfill that desire within me to hit the to do a job or have a business that actually tapped into my creative desire. So luckily, you know, I'm not the breadwinner. I bring in the extra, but I'm not the breadwinner. So I have the flexibility to be able to do that, and I'm thankful, very thankful for that, because we're past that season of me having to work in order to make ends meet. But I wanted to look forward. So I've looked at so many different companies and creative companies or you know, creative outlets. And what could I do? Well, I could just make things and sell them, or do this or do that. But a lot of times, I don't know if you guys realize or not, but when you make things to sell, it's a big time investment, and it can be very time consuming, which I'm still not in that season. I'm trying to think ahead. Like, what could I do now that I can kind of change up later on? So anyway, and I had not touched anything other than decorating my house and doing little projects, like for, you know, a little DIY project for a holiday or something for a decoration. I still did not have a creative outlet, and all my creative stuff was in boxes still. So then my sweet girl helped me transform this room into our craft room, because she's a crafty girl too. And at the time she was home more. So we created this, and thank God I had it when COVID hit because this was like my only place to go. Before that I didn't have a room, but after we kind of, things changed a little bit here and there, this room became my, instead of a man cave, my craft room. So, this was my place to come away, get away from all the demands of the household, because, you know, I didn't get a break in COVID. That made my work harder as opposed to, which it did for most moms, I think most moms. So, this was one place that I could get away to. So, during that course of time, not that particular year, not in 2020, but in 2021, I came across an opportunity to do a workshop, an online workshop with a new craft that I had never heard of. And it was called chalking. And I'm like, well, I don't know, but I love anything creative. And I had decided I was going to go ahead and sign up for it. It was a virtual workshop. And I'm like, yeah, why not? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. It's just a small period of time that I should be able to take for myself. So I did it, and I fell in love with it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. It's so easy. And it's like, you can do it start to finish in a short period of time. And that's the thing with scrapbooking. I still don't plan on ever giving up scrapbooking. I just have not touched it for 6 or 7 years. Well, I know I haven't touched it. I've done some card making since I've been here, but I have not done scrapbooking at all since I moved here. And that was in 2016. So I don't intend to give it up, but at some point down the road, it will be on my agenda again, because I do love that. And I want to be able to create and have these legacy things for my kids. And God knows I have more than enough pictures for, to be able to do. But, you know, I don't know if I'll ever finish them all before I die. Lord willing, I'll be around long enough to do that. But still, it's a time consuming process. And I would start so many projects with an idea, and I would say, oh, I know what I can do. And then I would start it and then not get the time to get back to it, and I wouldn't be able to finish it in one sitting, and that was a problem. So I found this, and it was you did it and you were done, and it was little mess, little investment, little cleanup, and you had a product that turned out the way you expected it to. And I'll be honest with you, the first time I did it, I didn't even do a good job. I did a very bad job. But I still said, this is something I think I would like to do here or there. So I just kind of told the lady, yeah, let me know when you do another one. I definitely want to do it. So lo and behold, I started, I had to do my taxes that year, and we needed a tax break because we were, I'm just being honest with you guys, we are supporting all these people, but we don't get very many tax breaks for it. So I needed a tax break. And so I was like, I talked to Kevin, and I'm like, you know what? I need to find a little side business again. And I've done side businesses. Oh my gosh, I've been doing side businesses since I was first married, probably. So in addition to whatever job I was doing. So I said, I need to find something. I don't know what it is going to be yet, but I need to find something that will give us a little bit of tax break, because we're not getting any breaks for all this other stuff that we're doing. So after I started doing this, I looked at it, and the girl said, well, do you want to just learn about it? It's, pretty straightforward. Just listen to this. And I said, sure, I'll do it. So that's what I did. I listened to it, and I really started praying in earnest about it. I'm like, Lord, is this the opportunity? Because a lot of the other ones that I love, like with card making and scrapbooking and things like that, I've looked at those opportunities as well, but they put you in a box. They put you in a box, and they have so many requirements, and they have all these stipulations and quotas, and I'm not a salesperson, you guys. I am not. My husband is the salesperson. I am not a salesperson. I love to share things. I love to share good deals. I love to share ideas. I love to share techniques and things that I've learned. I love to tell people about cool things, but I am not a salesperson. That's just not me, and I know I could never do that. So I was like, I don't know, but I'll look at it, and I thought, well, maybe I might just do it just so I can get a discount, because if I'm going to do it anyway, I might as well get a discount, because I'm a bargain gal. I love a bargain. So I looked at it, and I started really praying about it. And I'm like, well, even if nothing else, I wasn't planning on doing a business with it at all, to be honest with you guys, but I thought, if nothing else, I'll at least sign up so I can get a discount. So that's what I did. And I just kept praying about it, and about a month, and I started looking at it for like where I was 2 years ago to where I want to be once the kids are out of the house, because that has taken up the biggest amount of my time since my oldest was born, which is almost it'll be 28 years ago in June. So now this big hunk of time is going to be available to me, and I'm not good at being idle at all. And of course I want to do things with church, and I want to do Bible studies and things like that, but I still need that creative outlet. For me, that's what feeds my soul. And I had to deny it for so long that I was like, I need to find something, even if it was only just for me, for creating for the house. So that's what I decided to do. And then I just kept praying about it, and I felt like the Lord said, well, maybe just try it. Maybe just try it as a business. And so I started a little bit, and I was not comfortable at all, y'all. Doing this right now, the first time I did that, went on live on there, I was like, oh my gosh. And I shouldn't be. I used to act when I was in, well, we called it junior high and the beginning of high school. So I shouldn't be, but I am. I was like, oh my gosh, there's no way I could do that. Now it actually brings me joy and energy to be able to get on here, do lives on my business page, which is where I do 98% of them. Some of them on Instagram. I do have a YouTube channel as well. But my heart's desire, my why is what they call it in business, is to be able to share my love of creativity with others, to encourage them to say, even if it's not this, find something for you. Because this has been my saving grace more times than I can count. My sanity buster. When things get, the four walls just close in, or everything's overwhelming, or you feel like everybody's taking a piece of you, you need something to fill yourself back up with. Find whatever that is for you. We can only work so much. And that's going to be, if you're gone, guess what? That work will go on. Unfortunately, they'll find somebody to replace you. But you have to find something that you can do to bring you joy. And I had never done that. So, like I said, I only one other time in my life, adult life, have I ever found that. So, besides, my kids. But, so that's what I started doing. And I said, well, okay, I'm going to get outside my comfort zone a little bit, because the Lord likes to get you up. I never thought I would homeschool. I said I would never homeschool. And the Lord just laughed and said, oh yeah, watch this. So I ended up homeschooling my kids forever, right? Or it felt like forever. So don't say you can't or you won't do something, because a lot of times the Lord will make that situation happen whether you want it to or not. But I felt like he knew the desire of my heart was to have something that was a creative outlet for me, to help me with my sanity and fill in my cup, but also to be able to pour it out into the world. So I started doing that, and then I've done it more and more and more and more. And the more I do it, the more I feel like I'm opening that, I sealed that box up tight a long time ago and only let a little bit of air out or a little bit of sunlight hit it every once in a while. But I feel like now that I have given it permission to kind of come out of that box, the more I do it, the better I feel like I become at it. Just like with anything, right? The more you do it, the better you get. And I feel like I'm tapping into that reservoir. I still don't consider myself an artist by any means. I don't know that I'm gifted. I don't know, because there's things I haven't explored that I think the Lord has told me I should, and I just haven't taken the time. And fear of failure. I'm a perfectionist in a lot of ways, and I don't want to mess up. So anyway, that's why I am doing this. I did it for my own sanity, my creative, and then I said, I've got to be able to share this with others, because it's so cool and it's so easy and it's satisfying and gratifying, and even if it's just to entertain, I don't care, just to get out there. It's not, my goal isn't to earn tons of money. My goal isn't to sell things to people who don't need it. My goal is to share my love of creating with everyone, and hopefully it's contagious, or at least ignites something within them to say, well, I don't know if I want to do that, but I have been putting this other thing off. So I know that there are other moms, there are other women, there are other wives that are in the same boat that I've been in most of my life, where you put everything else and everybody else first. And I still do. I still have to get my house and my kid, everything else has to be in order before I ever come up to the craft room. There's very few times that doesn't happen, because that's just instilled really deep in me. But once I get up here, there are days where I am so dog tired and I'm thinking, there's no way I can do it. But once I get up here and I start doing this and I start interacting with some people on my, when I'm doing my lives, it energizes me, you guys. It energizes me. So that's why I do this. And I just wanted to show you guys how simple it can be. So if it's something you might want to try out, just let me know. Send me a direct message. If you have my phone number, text me. I am not here to sell you. I'm not here to push anything on you. I just wanted to share why I do this, why I decided to start as a business, because I still have long-range goals. This is just what I do now. I like to come on here. I like to teach techniques. I like to tell people about things, share ways to do things, share pretty things, just that kind of stuff. But I do have longer term goals of how I can grow this and even touch more lives. I hope that's my hope. And if that's what the Lord wants, then that's what will happen. But I hadn't even had a seed or a dream, a seed of hope or a dream for a long time for myself and what I wanted to accomplish. It was always about what I could help all those that I love and that were around me accomplish, or help sustain them. So this is for me, and I just want to share it with you because I love it, and I just want you guys to have an opportunity to know what it's about. And if not this, find something for yourself. So anyway, real quick, this is called chalking. And so now I'm an independent designer with CLUB Couture, and what I do most of the time, every once in a while, I'll hold a workshop locally, but not a lot, because again, I have time demands, and that means time away from the family, and I don't always have that opportunity. So most of the time, I just come on here and I show project ideas. I show me creating stuff just to kind of give ideas or to entertain or encourage people. And because I'm going to do it anyway, so why not share it with you guys? Maybe you'll learn something, or maybe you just are like me. When I have to tell you guys, it was so funny. Keegan brought home from school yesterday a paper. Of course, they've been talking about Mother's Day, and that can be a little tough for kids who don't have an actual mom in their life. But I'm what he thinks of as a mama, I think. I hope anyway, that's what I've done, is when he thinks of a mama, that's me. but he brought a little paper home, and they had questions on there about like, why do you love your grandmama? Or, you know, they say grandmother, but why do you love it? And he said on there, what's her favorite TV show? And he put none. And he's right, because I don't watch TV. Every once in a while, the hubby has a couple shows he wants me to sit down and watch with him, but I don't watch TV hardly at all. So what I do with my time, if I'm going to watch something, or if I want something on in the background, or I want something just to kind of occupy me, or to veg out, or to chill, and I'm not doing a craft, or I'm not doing work, or I finally said, you know what, I've done all I can do today physically, I'm done, I need to just sit down, I put on crafting. I watch somebody else craft or create. That's what brings me joy. That's what fills me up. Of course, he doesn't know that, because he never sees me doing that. I do it on an iPad or something. I don't do it on TV. But I just had to laugh, because he's like, none. And then what was the other thing? The other question was, what was, oh gosh, there was another question that it asked. And he said nothing. And I forget what it was. It was just so cute. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. Anyway, I digress. So anyway, I want to show you, this is what we call our monthly club transfer. We have a monthly subscription club that has a new transfer every month that only designers like me or club members can get. And every month it changes, and it's always something really cool, unique, it's on trend, and you get 3 coordinating paste packets with it. And so chalk paste is basically just wet chalk that goes on wet and dries hard to the touch. And then you can change it out. If you're doing it on a chalkboard like we're gonna do today, it changes it out. So if you don't have good handwriting and you like to have designs, or you wanna have a place where it's just something you create, but you could change it out and change it out and change it out, all you need is a chalkboard. So this is one of our, we call it our, this is our Aiden board. This one is a 9x12, and it's already distressed like this. I did not paint it, but I love it. It's distressed. I love how it looks. It's just the basic white and black. If you don't like white, you can always paint the frame, but it's a porcelain coated chalkboard, so it is durable. It's high quality, but not high cost. And this is just one piece, and we have this in a lot of different sizes that you can just hang up on your wall in one spot, and you can change it out and change it out and change it out. And you can do the same thing with the bigger sizes, because we have lots of bigger sizes. But this is what we call a transfer. And basically this part is vinyl, the part that's teal, and then the white part is silk screen. So what that means is, and it's self-adhesive, it sticks to it's got a stickiness. So it's not a stencil. It's better than a stencil because it's sticky, it's thinner, and it has the silk screen in there. Paired along with our chalk paste, which is just wet chalk, it goes on there. It gives you a great image no matter what. You don't have to have talent or ability to be able to do it. All you have to be able to do, I always say, if you can butter bread or smear a bagel or even put peanut butter on a piece of bread, you can do this. It's so easy. And it can be changed out. But it also is better than, I think it's better than like vinyl and weeding and things like that, because you don't have to do all the weeding, and like you can get distress. See all the distressing that's in there? You can get that without having to mess around with little teeny tiny pieces of vinyl. So that's what this is, and I'm going to show you exactly how to use it. So like I said, this is one of our reusable chalkboards, and it's like a match made in heaven for these. And the reason I'm talking about our club is because it's only I haven't looked at it now. I need to look at it. Where's my paper? Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. I am absolutely drawing a blank because I wasn't going to talk about that stuff. If you want to know, just contact me and I'll let you know all the details. I'll give you a link so you can check it out. But it's so inexpensive. It's around $20 a month, and you get something new, and it comes right to your house, and there's always other benefits that go along with it. What I'm doing right now is what we call fuzzing, and that is just putting, because it is sticky, I want it to be sticky, but not so sticky that I have a hard time pulling it off my surface. So I'm just putting a little fuzz on the sticky part. And then once I've done that, I'm going to put my transfer down. But that's the reason I'm showing you this, is because it's a no-brainer. You just get something new in your mailbox every month. You don't have to think about it. You just have fun and play with it. Once you've fuzzed it, you just place it on your chalkboard just like this. And I've already done another project with this. I'll show you guys in a minute. In case you haven't seen it, I try to do about 4 to 5 projects a week, and I always share them on my business page. which can be found up in my, in my links up. And if you look in my About section, you can find my business page. Or you might see a post on there because I share posts from there sometimes. But once you put it on your chalkboard, you just smooth it out so that you don't have any bumps or bubbles or anything like that and in your silk screen, and just place it where you want it. And I'm not sure if that's straight. I need to look and see if that's straight because I eyeball everything. If it's not, I can clean it off, but I think it's straight. So once you fuzz it, you put it on your chalkboard and you have something that looks like this. Actually, I got a bubble down there. Sorry guys, let me fix that. So it would look like this once you put it on, okay? There we go. Just press it down. And I just changed out this back, and I don't know if I put it down hard enough. There we go. Okay. So just press it down. And then, now this is a jar. Like I said, with the club, you get 3. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Teresa. You get 3 coordinating paste packets that come with the club subscription. You don't have to do this. We also have Try Me kits, which are super fun. But this is the best way to like build some inventory or to try things out. It's just fun. It's a fun way to try out. And this truly is one of those crafts that you have to do it and get your hands on it in order to see how cool it is, how easy it is, and how I feel like rewarding it is. Now, this is a jar. Like I said, you would get single paste packets if you got this particular, if you got the monthly club. So I'm just taking, this is called a squeegee. They come in different sizes. This is a small one. If you're in the club, when you join the club for the first time, you get a mini sent to you because that's the tools we use to create with. So you get a mini one. So you have everything except for your surface to go ahead and start with your first project. I hope you ladies are having a good day, all you ladies. But I just put the chalk paste directly on. I'm just using white, or bright white, because I want you to see. I mean, when you think of a chalkboard, you think of black and white, right? I mean, now, not me. I use all kinds of colors because that's how I work. And by the way, I did make this shirt. All of our transfers also work with our ink. We sell ink, so you can even make them into shirts. And like I said, I'll show you my other project here in a minute that I did with it last week. But you just take your chalk paste directly on your squeegee, and then look, watch. I want you guys to see how easy. Okay, this takes no skill whatsoever. And all I'm doing is squeegeeing it on and pulling off any extra. So this is just wet chalk. How many of you used to play with chalk all the time? I know if my aunt's still on here, she had the best setup in her basement when we were growing up. She's my aunt, but she's only, she's the same age as my sister. So we grew up together, and she had the best setup for a schoolroom. Her parents had her she had a chalkboard and everything. And we used to go down there and play school all the time. And then of course my sister ended up as a teacher, which is not surprising. But we had lots of fun. So who didn't play, right, with chalkboards when you were a kid? Most of us did, I think. So this is just wet chalk. This is just white chalk. And I'm just covering the whole area that has silk screen with a squeegee. And really does not take much. A little goes a long way. Just trying to get that last little bit. I'd love to know what you guys have been doing with your day. I actually finally used my gift certificate I got for Christmas as my Christmas gift today to go get a facial that I had not had probably in about 4 years, I think 4 years. Oh, I went off the edge there, guys, but I'll show you. It's easy enough to clean. So just pull off any extra, make sure everything's covered, and then I usually put it right back in the jar, whatever I don't use. But I actually went and did that today. So I gave myself an early Mother's Day present because it was really a Christmas present. But, oh my gosh, we had so much fun as kids. Oh my gosh, we had so much fun. Times were so much easier. Okay, guys, so all done. That's, look, how many minutes did that take? couple. And now the best part is what we call peel and reveal and then squeal. So I always like work towards, I start on the edge, but then I work to the middle to pull it off. But look. And all that distressing you see on there was already built into the transfer. So I didn't have to worry about trying to make it look vintagey or old at all. Not all of our transfers are vintage looking, but a lot of times we'll come out with ones as an option. How awesome is that, y'all? How awesome is that? Okay, now I got a little bit up here. I didn't mean to. So it's just wet chalk. I'm just going to take a baby wipe and wipe that little section off. But now you have some, I mean, that's just so simple. Take it. If I can get it off, there we go. And that's all it took, you guys. That's all it took, okay? Now, that will dry in about 5 minutes or less. The chalk will, and it'll be hard on there. And I can touch it, I can dust it, I can wipe on it. Not necessarily with a wet cloth. Well, you could use a wet cloth, but it will not come off until I spray water on it, let it sit, and scrape it off when I want it to. So this can now just get hung up on your wall, wherever you have a place for it. Or if you're using an easel, put it on an easel, and there you go. And then when the next month's transfer came, you could just spray on it, scrape it off, and do the next month. And you'll already get 3 paste packets. Now this particular month, oh shoot, I think it came with 3 Ocean Mist. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the colors. I didn't bring it up on my screen to show me, but yes. So this is what it looks like. Now you can change out the colors and do whatever color you want. I'm just showing you it in white because I wanted you to see how cool it looks and just popping it, how it pops right out on there, right? And the coolest thing about it is these transfers are reusable. You can reuse them the company will guarantee a dozen times. And then all you need to do it, no special tools, no special tools. We do have what we call a board eraser that I highly suggest you have if you're doing this kind of stuff. But all you need is cool water and I'm gonna try to set it over to the side. I would just take this transfer now to my sink, run cool water on it. I use a board eraser, but you can use a soft sponge and clean it all down, clean the chalk off of it, set it to dry, and then the back part becomes sticky again, and then I put it back on my backer sheet, just like this, on this thing, and then I store it away and I have it for the next time. So you could always come back to it and reuse it, or you can use it for another project, or do it on a shirt. Whatever it is that you want to do with it, you can do. I'm here to help. That's what I enjoy doing, is helping other people create things of beauty. So you can't get any easier than this. Now, if you are not creative at all, you can still do this. I'm telling you, Keegan has done this. Keegan was 4 years old. I brought him up here for the first time. He had never done it before. He knew Mama did projects, but he had never done it before. I put him in front of the camera. We sat on here with a kid's kit, and he did it, and he loved it, and he was so proud. He let me take pictures of him. He was so proud of what he did. You can do this, even if you're not, because all the hard work and the creativity has been done. But if you're an intermediate, like I consider myself, then you may want to take it up a notch, go to the next level, right? So this is what I did last week. This is just a simple metal sign that I got from Walmart, and I decided it looked like that. It's just one of those galvanized signs, and I decided I wanted to make it look old and vintage, and then I just did that. So I still didn't do a whole lot. I just made this sign look vintage, right? Made the background look vintage, and then I just did 2 colors. I used 2 colors on the transfer. And then next week, I'll do another project, and it'll be completely different, and I can pick different surfaces. We have so many surfaces to choose from, but I am the reason my business is called Revive, first of all, it's Revive DIY and Upcycled Designs, is because number one, I love to upcycle things. I love to either find something at a thrift store, at Ollie's, at Big Lots, at Dollar Tree, at Dollar General, at Walmart, at Target, where in my home that I want to repurpose it. Because I like to look at things and say, oh, how can I use that differently? That's what I've always liked to do that. So I love to upcycle things. I call it upcycling, so that's part of my name of my business. Revive DIY, that came from, and that's what my dragonfly is. I put my dragonfly as my symbol for my business because it symbolizes rebirth. And to me, I was wanting to and felt like it was time, and I needed to revive my creativity. So that's why I called it Revive. Revive DIY. So I was doing stuff anyway. I just needed to be purposeful about it. And for me personally, until I'm done with raising and taking care of kids, I needed it. I knew that I needed to put it in a box and say, okay, if it's a business, then I will make time for it, because I'm one of those, I'm a workaholic. I can't help it. I just am. So I knew if I made it a business that I would make time for it. And I am so glad that I did. It doesn't feel, this part of it never feels like a business. That part is the part that energizes me. It's all the other stuff that goes along with it that's draining. But you don't have to even make it a business. You can just sign up as a designer if you decide you want to, just to get 40% off. Or you can just join the club and get a new thing every month and just try playing around with it and seeing if it opens up your creativity. But if you're a beginner, you've got this. If you wanted to, you could even just take some ribbon and tie it around the top and make it even, up another little notch. If you're an intermediate, maybe you're doing something like this. If you're an artist, you can still use stuff like this. A lot of our artists, we have so many different designs and things that a lot of our artists will paint a canvas or make, maybe even take a picture. Like, I love photography, and I get a lot of my photos that I take. I do a lot of nature photography. I get prints of them made and I put them in my house as decor. Well, you could chalk over top of it. You can do something to add to it. So, or maybe you can use mixed media. Maybe you're that type of artist that you want to do this, but you want to do a lot more other things with it. So mixed media. Whatever it takes to tap into your creativity, this works within it. And I just wanted to make sure you guys know about it and kind of explain where I was. And that's why every once in a while I'll put something on here. I'll either share something that I've done just because I love it so much and I'm excited about it, or just because I want to encourage you to go out and try something on your own. But every once in a while I'll also say, hey, even if you never, like I said, I am not about sales. This is not about sales for me. This is about spreading beauty and creativity into the world and encouraging others to do that. Yeah, you do that. That's cool, Teresa. I'm hoping that I'll get back in. That's what I used to do more when I was scrapbooking, work with a lot of mixed media, but I don't have the time to do that right now. So, but I love it when I can embellish something and add a little bit more and a little bit more to it, a little bit more. It's always fun. But it's just stands on its own though. It's fabulous. So you don't ever have to feel like you have to do more. But if you want to do more and you have that desire to do more and you have the time to do more, then do this. I mean, that's so much better than sitting there scrolling on social media, or being stuck in front of the TV watching, look at, we have so many channels and still go through and say there's nothing on to watch. So now I won't put aside, I still make time for reading. I still make time for gardening and being outside, and of course the majority of my day is keeping up this house and taking care of 4 males and 2 male animals, but I still make time for this, and it's what fills me up, fills my cup. This and the Lord, always got to make time for that. Start your day off with that, or I try to anyway. But I just wanted to let you guys know that's what it is. And every once in a while you may see me say on here, hey guys, even if you do nothing else but share one of my videos, we call it sprinkling because Facebook doesn't like it when you say share all the time, but just sprinkling my videos or letting somebody else that you think might be interested in knowing about it, that helps me. Any of that helps me. Like I said, I do have a YouTube channel, so I try to upload all my videos over to that. So if you're not into being on Facebook or Instagram, no problem. I have a YouTube channel because I know there are people who don't want to do that. My next transition is to Pinterest. I have a Pinterest account, but I have not done anything really with it. And that's my next major goal, is to start putting more things out on Pinterest. So yeah, so that's just a little bit about, I wanted to share where my heart was, what I'm doing. And like I said, I'm trying to look forward to the future and have something to look forward to, because I don't want to, I can't do lives on YouTube yet because I don't have enough followers. But I only do lives on Facebook and every once in a while on Instagram. But if you need any more information, feel free to message me directly. You don't have to ask in comments. You can just message me. But you guys, I just appreciate you letting me have the time to come into your world and share my love of creating and maybe, you know, help get it out to others. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your Saturday. I hope you've had a wonderful Saturday to begin with, and that tomorrow, if you're mamas, you are celebrated. I know it's hard in some ways for a lot of us. It's a mixed blessing. You know, we have our own and we're so excited, but it can be hard when we miss the ones that are our own mamas. So I hope that you find joy tomorrow and that you're celebrated and appreciated for all that you've poured into your own kids and grandchildren, if you have them, and if you're a fur mama or whatever. So there's lots of different ways to be a mom. You don't always have to be the mom to be a mom figure. So I just hope that you guys have a wonderful day. And thanks for letting me come on here and share my heart. All right, guys, I'm going to go. I'll see you later. Bye.